The 2025 King of the Hammers is shaping up to be the most challenging Ultra 4 race yet, and on this episode, I'm showing you some of the best places around the lakebed to watch the action from, including a couple of new spectator areas you may have never heard of before. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Matt Mogadam, aka Desert Chief, only on Driving Lines Chasing Dust. It's January, and that means it is Hammer time. Of course, we're talking about King of the Hammers just around the corner, a couple of weeks away. And I thought I'd make this video if you're new or relatively new to King of the Hammers and you're not quite sure where to watch the race action from if you're planning on going out there. And in case you've never been, KOH is the toughest single-day motorsports race in the entire world, but the event around it itself is kind of like a mashup between Mad Max and Burning Man. It's one of my favorite off-road events of the entire year, blending camping with live entertainment, a great vendor area, some of the most insane motorsports competition, and of course, all of the off-roading your heart desires. But the main event is the Race of Kings, where nearly 100 unlimited Class 4400 Ultra 4 cars battle it out over 225 miles of wide open desert, sand dunes, huge rocks, all for the glory of being crowned King of the Hammers. But since it's such a widespread race, I wanted to make this video to show you guys some of my favorite spectator areas. And if you stick around to the end of the episode, I'm even going to mention a couple of new spectator areas that could be a fan favorite for this year's race course. So without any further ado, let's dive right into the map here. I'm going to show you guys this map that I created in onX. I have onX Pro account, and this is a great software to be able to show some of these trails. So right here we have a map of Johnson Valley, and I got a couple of routes to show you how to get to Hammertown. Just starting out here, we're going to be on the 247. This is the highway that you actually turn off. This blue marker here shows you where Boone Road is. You're going to be turning onto the dirt, onto Boone Road here. Of course, you're going to be going down Boone Road. It's a graded, easy road. And once you make this hard left turn, you're going to see the gate. This is the main gate for Hammertown. So you're actually going to be paying for your wristband here. You're going to get all the information for the race. And if you plan on sticking around, there's going to be a ton of places to camp all across this area on the left side of this road here. So this is, if you've never been to KOH, this is where most people will camp. And then as you make your way down Boone Road, you're going to make your way down into Hammertown. So this is going to be a large fenced off area. In fact, even the satellite image, you can still somewhat see some of the tracks from years previous. They do a really good job of cleaning all of this up, but you can still see some of the infield here just carved out of the dirt a little bit. And then zooming out a little bit, you can see the actual valley here. So this is Johnson Valley. But if you look here to the east side of the valley and into these hills back here, these are the Hammers trails. All these zigzaggy lines here are parts of the race course. And if you watch the pre-race show, you would have seen Dave Cole, who is the race promoter and the guy who builds the course. He's been doing King of the Hammers since it started. He was one of the founders. So he was talking about some of these trails here with Miles Hasselquist, as well as Tom Wayes and Cameron Steele, who are also competitors. Now, they were going through this race course, showing some of these areas. I was taking notes of where we can actually watch this race from. And as you can see here, some of these green dots, these are our spectator spots. So I'm going to be talking to you guys about these areas because you can actually drive your 4x4 or your UTV to these spots and you can actually watch the Race of Kings from these locations. Our first one is going to be one of our most popular spectator spots, and that's going to be Backdoor. So Backdoor is right over here, and I'm going to zoom out again just to show you how to get here. So once you get to Hammertown, you're basically just going to drive north along this trail, and it's going to wrap west slightly. This is a well-marked trail. There's going to be a ton of people going up and down from Backdoor, so you should be able to find it pretty easily on race day. And once you come off this, you'll see there's going to be a whole bunch of cars parked along this hill, and this is where you're going to park and you're going to get out and walk over to the edge of this little berm right here. Now, Backdoor is a great spectator spot because it's one of the toughest trails at the Hammers. It does have a 10-foot waterfall that oftentimes we see racers going up, but in this year, they will be going down Backdoor. So some people are going to be going down this 10-foot waterfall, and that can make for a lot of really great action to watch. I did hear Dave talking about Backdoor during the show, and he was mentioning that there will be a bypass, but it is going to cost racers quite a bit of time. So they're going to have to make that decision on the fly on race day, depending on where they're at in their race. They may want to go down Backdoor, or they may want to take that bypass. So either way, if you're going to come down and spectate Backdoor, this is a great spot to stand right here, as you can see up this canyon right here where the actual waterfall is, which is right around here, I believe. So you can stand here, you can watch the race. It's a great spot. Now zooming back out to the valley, here's Hammertown again. Our next spot is going to be right here, which is Chocolate Thunder. And this is another one of those staple spectator spots for King of the Hammers. I'm going to zoom in for you guys a little bit here so you can see where I'm talking about. Now, Chocolate Thunder is a rocky hillside. You can kind of see it right here. The race course goes up. Now, normally they go up Chocolate Thunder. That makes for a lot of fun action. There's a couple of lines, so racers can actually pass each other while driving through these rocks. And there's this large sand berm where everybody can park right over here and watch this race. This year, they will be going down Chocolate Thunder. So again, you're going to be able to watch the racers as they make their way down this course and then up Idle Issues, which is this course right here. Idle Issues is super steep. It's got a lot of rock. Should be a lot of fun. You're gonna hear those V8s roaring up this hill right here. And you can actually watch both of these trails from the same area right here. Now, how you get to Chocolate Thunder is a little bit different. You're gonna start at Hammertown here, and you're gonna make your way northeast. Now, the best way to find Chocolate Thunder is by standing at Hammertown and basically just looking east across the valley. You will see a small hill here with a bunch of cars parked on it. That's going to be your North Star. You're going to be aiming for that area. Now, the best way to get there is through these sand dunes. You can see where the terrain changes a little bit over here compared to the lake bed. This is the sand dune area. You're going to drive along these dunes and just basically park right along this ridge, and you'll see a bunch of other cars there. You just get out, take your stuff over to this hill, and plop down, and you can watch some racing there all day long. I do believe that they hit Chocolate Thunder a couple of times during this race, so that's going to be a good spot for you guys to watch the race from. Now, as you can see, there are 3 other green dots on this map. So where are these? I actually listened to Dave Cole talking about some new spectator areas on this year's race course. The first one he mentioned was just north of Chocolate Thunder. So if you're actually in this area and it seems to be too busy or too full, there is another good spot that you can make your way up and around. So this trail does bring you around the top of this hill, where this is at high elevation right here. Now, the reason why this is a good spot is because the racers are literally going to be coming down from this trail up here through this mountain. There's not even a marked trail on the map. You can see that there's just nothing here, but they're going to be driving straight down this hill, and they're going to be driving right at you. So they're actually going to be coming right towards this green dot, and then they're going to dive off once they hit this trail over here. So you can actually watch these racers probably stacking up a couple at a time, maybe even passing, coming down this hill. You get a long view of them, and it could be a really great spot to watch the race if you want something a little bit different from what you would normally see here at Chocolate Thunder. Alternatively, he did mention a second spot nearby. If you actually take this trail south of Chocolate Thunder down and you kind of hug this mountain a little bit, there will be a set of sand dunes down here that you could find on your map. Now, the cool thing is the race course actually takes these guys really close to this hillside. There is actually a VCP, or a virtual checkpoint, right here that the racers have to hit. And once they hit this point, they have nowhere to go but down this huge sand dune right here. So this is going to be a really fun spot to watch the race. I don't know if these guys are going to be sending it off of this dune, if they're going to be crawling down it, but either way, Dave seems to think this is going to be a great spot to watch the race from, and it's going to be safe because the virtual checkpoint's going to be right here, so they do have to avoid the spectator area, and you can still get a nice commanding view of this downslope of the dune. And of course, much of this race, especially laps 2 and 3, which Dave didn't even talk about lap 3, so I'm really curious as to what's going to be happening on lap 3 of this race. Much of this race is going to take place back here in these mountains. These are places that you really can't get to as a spectator, but you can watch these from the jumbotrons all around the lake bed. There's going to be jumbotrons usually at Chocolate Thunder, usually one at Backdoor, of course the ones at Hammertown, and they have a great live coverage of this race, so you can actually watch all the action from the drones, from the helicopters, and you can keep in track to see who's going to be coming to your spectator area soon, and then you get to watch it live. It's one of the most fun things to do at King of the Hammers, is be following along with the guys that are doing the live show, and then once you see them coming by you, you can just hear those engines coming. It's just super fun. It's one of my favorite things to do out there. Dave did drop one last nugget. He did say that the qualifying course this year is going to be where the old Backdoor Shootout course was. Now, I know if you guys are new and you're watching this video, you have no idea what I'm talking about. Well, Backdoor Shootout used to be one of my favorite events during the Hammers, and basically it was a bunch of East Coast rock bouncers versus these Ultra 4 West Coast rock crawler guys. And the course used to take place just behind Hammertown. So here's our Hammertown dot right here. If you kind of go north and west a little bit around what we call the Bronco Arch, there's this hill that kind of stands alone by itself right behind Hammertown. There's usually an arch up here for the Broncos. Bronco Arch is here. On the back side of it is all these qualifying rocks up here. So they're going to be racing up and down these rocks and then back up over here towards Backdoor and Short Bus, which is this trail right over here. Now, the cool thing about watching this qualifying course is that usually we're not allowed to get that close to the qualifying. We kind of watch it on the Jumbotron. You kind of hope the media guys like me can grab some of those videos. But this year, you can actually get up close and personal watching the qualifying course. And that's actually gonna be really cool, especially during the power hour, which is like golden hour, and they're gonna have all the top racers doing their 4,400 qualifying. So if you're around for qualifying, you can actually make your way in here. And Dave is saying that there's gonna be a spectator spot out here. Now, if there's not a spectator spot, do not drive across these areas because they may be closed. I need to have that caveat in here because things are fluid out there on the lake bed. But if there is an opportunity for you to make your way over to the qualifying course to watch, I would say that's going to be an awesome spot to watch it from. I've never really gotten to see it very well from Hammertown. So if that's open, I'm going to try to make my way over there and park next to everybody else to watch that qualifying lap. Now, if you're curious of what trails they're going to be running on lap 2, Dave did mention the following trails are going to be part of this year's race. Of course, like I said, they're going to be going down Chocolate Thunder. They're going to be going up Idle Issues. They're going to be going down Backdoor over here on the left side of the screen. They're also going to be on Resolution, which is here near Backdoor. Outer Limits and Spooners are going to be up here in the center of the screen. They're going to be going, down Big Johnson right here, Clawhammer, Winner's Choice, Wrecking Ball, Fisher Mountain. And there was a mention of Sunbonnet Trail, which I think is going to be really awesome because Sunbonnet's actually way out there, and Dave has a couple of really crazy spurs that are going to be going through some stuff that people have never been through, some huge rocks, and he thinks it's going to be very, very challenging for even some of the top competitors in the world. Now, I've been going to King of the Hammer since 2012, and I've learned a few things. So here's a couple of quick tips for you guys who are kind of new to King of the Hammer. Be sure to bring some form of a dust mask or a neck gaiter. We have had no rain this year. I think we've had no rain in the last 9 months out in the desert. So it is going to be incredibly dusty. And if there isn't enough wind, or we call it W word in the desert, you don't want to actually say wind out there. It's bad luck. If there's no wind, it's going to be just completely dusted out. You're going to have a hard time breathing. You definitely don't want to be caught in that stuff. So try to bring a mask or try to bring a neck gaiter at best. Something to have even when you're just walking around. It's going to be a lot nicer when you have your face covered. Don't forget to bring something to sit on. I like to bring a fold-up chair, just easy to carry around. You can watch the race. The worst thing is to just be standing up all day long and then your feet are getting tired trying to watch this race. I'd also say to bring plenty of layers because the Hammer's weather can change very quickly. Mornings often start off very cold, sometimes in the 30s, and then they can go up to like 75 in the middle of the day. So make sure you bring plenty of layers that you can take off and put back on as the sun goes down because the race does go into the nighttime. And be sure while you're driving to be always scanning left and right. And I know that this sounds kind of trivial, but there's a lot of people out there. I think the most we've had is 100,000 people on the lake bed at the same time. So you want to be sure that you're always scanning to make sure that no one's going to be cutting across you from the side. People are, not always paying attention. So you want to be the one who's paying attention and be sure you leave yourself plenty of room to stop or slow down or turn and get out of somebody's way. And lastly, please be aware of where you are. There is active race course all over that lake bed. There are cars that are going 100 miles an hour across this lake bed. You can't just drive anywhere you want to go. You got to be sure that you're in somewhere that's safe. And if it's not a place for your spectators to go, do not go and try to spectate the race because typically you will get flagged down by somebody and they're going to come and pull you out of there. The BLM is out there. They're going to be looking out for all of us. They're the ones that keep us safe. But you do have to be sure that the responsibility is on you to know where you are in comparison to the race and all the operations going on around the lake bed. So I hope this video helps you guys find a cool spot to watch the Race of Kings at this year's King of the Hammers. I think it's gonna be one of the best years yet. I love going to this event. If you've never been to King of the Hammers or you haven't made a plan to, definitely put it on your bucket list. It is one of the premier off-road events around the entire world every year. And once again, you guys, this has been your host, Matt McAdam, aka Desert Chief, only on Driving Lines Chasing Dust. And as always, I'll see you guys out there, maybe on the lake bed this year. Hey guys, thanks for watching. This is Matt from Chasing Dust. Be sure to hit that subscribe button because Driving Line's creating all kinds of awesome content for gearheads just like you. I'll see you guys out there.